most came out and said you do this at this level for another 4 or 5 years.
And he ain't lying,
Then he started
dog.
talking about, I said 5 to 7. I said,
And he ain't lying.
At the end of the year, we end up having a city suburban game.
City versus suburban game is nuts.
No, that was the name of it. That was the name of it. And they had D Wade on that suburban team.
So white guys in D Wade versus.
We developed so many winning habits that when we got in the game was so easy.
Yeah.
It was so easy. We were like, we just play. We don't want to practice.
I don't want to jump around, but you talked about Coach Spo earlier, and then you talked about this draft class. How did you all put this big three thing together? Seriously.
Yeah,
like I played on a team, I still don't know the answer. So the people at home really need to hear the answer.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure everyone has their own version. First of all,
all right, well, tell us
no
the
better
real
version than yours.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone has
the only
their own
version I know is the version that my ass was almost out of here.
You weren't gonna let that happen, were you?
Man, my man was gone already. I had to. You know how you can't hear somebody going so far away? Like, you deep. You deep. No, my man he was like, I'm out of here. Yeah. But no, I wasn't gonna let that happen. If I could do anything about it, it wasn't gonna feel right. But you know how it happened, man? Conversations. It happened. LeBron, give credit to LeBron. He was at a period in his career where he started he wanted to see something different for himself. And so because of that, you know, this guy coming off, we all was in 7 years of our career at that time. So we all have done some amazing individual things. I think he had 2 MVPs at the time. Mm-hmm. I already had my finals and my MVP. I'm straight. I'm sitting back like one day the HOF called me. But it was a time where we had already won. We had already experienced what that was. And then we went through losing. We went through rebuilding. And I was tired of that. I was actually leaving Miami at that time.
Really?
I didn't think that nobody out there that we could get was going to help us get to that level. Not that they weren't good players. I just didn't think it was enough. So we had conversations.
There's levels.
Like this is free agency.
No doubt.
We are free to go and experience like what we want. And at that time, I wanted to be a part of a team that could win. And for me, my hometown team can win. So I was like, man, I'm going back home. I'm going to Chicago. I played 7 years here. I won a championship. It's time to go to the next. And for me, that was my mentality going to free agency outside of Miami. Now, of course, Miami was still in there for me. But I got that call, man. I got that call from number 6.
Crazy thing is, I was a part of that free agency class. Probably got a few different phone calls than you got during that time as being a free agent.
Oh, you was a part of that free agency class? Damn, my bad, Mike.
But
he was out there dangling.
What I'm saying though is like I remember watching it because when you're part of that free agency, you're watching what's happening.
You watching the dominoes.
I have great self-awareness.
Yes.
I know until certain names are coming off this board, my phone is gonna be, you know what I mean? So
it's gonna be quiet.
So I heard the Chicago thing, and the funny thing is I heard the Chicago thing with you and LeBron.
Yeah, it was a lot of scenarios. It was a lot of different scenarios.
Hold on. I want to hear this. How close were we to being in Chicago or somewhere else?
It was a part of the conversation because I think what people don't remember is when we went into that summer, every team did what they needed to do to get 2 star players.
Yeah. And that's when all you guys were taking all those trips and everybody was going to visit like these different teams.
Yeah, these different
New York
teams.
And
the Brooklyn Nets now, the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls, the Clippers, like all these teams that everybody had, that Chris had, that I had, that Amari had, that Brian had, they all had a chance to get 2 star players. Yes. So Chicago looking like, hey, all right, now I don't know the truth of the conversation, what I'm not privy to. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I was like, if I'm going to go to Chicago, it can't be me and Brian. I got to beat Brian there. They're going to take him before they take me. But it could be me and Chris, or it could be me and a Boozer, or whatever it is, right? It couldn't, because I never thought about playing with LeBron. I didn't think that was possible, first of all.
I was shocked when it happened.
You and me both.
Shocked.
And plus, it's my favorite person besides Kobe, like, to compete against. I'm not thinking about playing with him. I love our matchups. And then I got a call.
Wow.
And the call was, Brian was on the call, I was on the call, our agents was on the call, and they was explaining to us on that call that the Miami Heat quietly did enough so they can get 3 star players. And that's when the game changed.
Pat Riley, I'm telling you,
Andy,
him and Andy.
And Pat.
Oh my God.
And it was quiet. It was no ESPN, no reports, no breaking
Everybody
news.
else was talking about it.
Everybody was talking about that. The Heat was quiet. And so I was thinking two players go to a team. When they hit us with that, I was like, so you get that little quietness on the phone with Brian. I'm like, oh, okay. So what you want to do? And so we went from that to like, let's get in person. Let's have a conversation. We had already knew the other player, if it was 3 who we would like to play with. His name was Christopher Bosch. Chris was represented by the same agent, Henry Thomas, at the time. And so we just kind of like let Chris know, like, hey, we having this meeting, talk about some stuff. Let's talk about it. And so we had a secret meeting, secret location. It may come out in one of the documentaries somebody did. We'll talk about all that. But it was some real fire.
It was in Miami?
Nah, it was secret location.
Yeah, I was going to say. It couldn't
have
been
It was
down here.
cool how we did. I mean, you know what? I got a production company. I may just do a movie on just like 24 hours of the Big Three. And now if I do it and show y'all how we all met up, it was fire.
It shocked me because, like I said, I was in that same free agency
That's
class.
dope. That's dope.
And I'm sitting there and I'm on the outside looking in, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, D-Wade and CB going to Miami. I'm like, woo, that's gonna be. So I'm actually about to sign with the Lakers.
Really?
I was about to sign with the Lakers. It was Phil and Kobe. We were calling like blah blah blah, this, that, and the third.
Okay.
And I get a call from Bron's camp and said, "What you about to do?" And I said, "What you mean?" So I was like, "You're going back to Cleveland, clearly."
Right, clearly.
And I'm
right?
like, man. So the GM of Cleveland starts calling all the time. He goes, no, just be patient. 2 days, you'll find out. I said, oh. And he drops out like, me and UD probably the same way. There ain't gonna be no bread over there. What else come over there?
Because I'm sitting there, once I seen that, and then I think you signed before me. I was like, I'm out this bitch.
No, we had
Ain't no way.
We had a phone call because I told him when we called about you. I was like, hey man, we gotta get this number. I was like, okay, cool. He goes, but now UD's gonna be. I was like, hey, no. That's his first. I had to call. I said, that's his first. That's his hometown. And then they came up and they figured it out. I think you guys take less money.
But they needed spacing, which was a big deal. Because
No, it was. I mean, that was
you were
first
priority.
Yes. He just said it. You just said it. LeBron's first call.
Yeah, you was a priority.
Was Mike Miller.
Yeah.
Because we needed shooting.
Yeah,
Right.
we needed
We
shooting.
got me and Bron together. That is no shooting. We can make shots. It's no shooting. Chris wasn't a shooter at the time
Yeah,
either. He was a
time.
mid-range.
Yes,
Wild, by
yes.
the way.
Right.
Which
Wild, by the
switched
way.
like that.
Like that.
That's
Wild, by the way. He was left elbow, right elbow jump shots in Toronto.
Man, I mean, he had the fundamental. Like, obviously, he had game winners and stuff, but we didn't know he was going to take it to the place. But you were the first call. And so this is all happening. On my side, this is all happening in real time. So we already knew that we were going to, I think we signed on July 7th, and let's say LeBron was July 8th.
Yeah.
We already knew these things once. Well, we hoped that LeBron was going to do his thing. Like he said he was, then he went silent. So I didn't,
No, he went quiet?
he went quiet for about 3 days. From July 4th, I ain't hear from Brian from July 4th when we all agreed that we were going to do it on July 4th. I remember where I was at. I was in South Carolina with my wife. She was shooting a movie. I went and hid under some, like the little beach thing. I don't know why I was hiding. I went and hid under there to take the call. And that's when we decided on July 4th. But I didn't hear from Brian no more until after his decision. So I didn't know. I was like, I hope. Because it started heating up. And I'm like, man, this is tough. It's going to be tough for him to make that move. Like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is crazy.
Man.
And so, obviously, he ended up doing it. But a lot of conversations, man. And the conversation that we had as a group was more so Brian leading it, talking about what he was looking for, what he was looking to do for his career, what he wanted to do from the standpoint of what kind of coaches he wanted to be a part of, what kind of organization he wanted to be, like all the things that he needed, that he's continued to take and go off in the rest of his life and do. He knew he needed that. And Miami was the place. It was, once the conversation started about us three, it was just Miami. And so we just had a lot of conversations, man. I remember one we had about the head coach. And Spo had just became the head coach like a year or two before that, so no one knew Spo. And I remember Brian asking me in the meeting about like Rouse.
Yeah.
I was like, hell no. Hell no. Immediately. I was like, nah, you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. I mean, we won a championship with him, and I see you see that. We like Spo.
The man read us ride the exercise bike for an hour before the game one day.
No, we can't do that.
Exercise bike for an hour before the game. On game day.
Yeah, man. We all love Rouse.
Well, shout out to Riles and Andy, and you guys for pulling that Oh, because it changed my life, Killer. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh no, listen, let me tell you something. Once again, two things can be true. Obviously, I was happy for the Miami Heat and the organization, but on my end, I thought I was out this. So now I'm heading down to the arena. Thank you, but no thank you. The minimum.
You're going to
Once
Dallas
again, that
sometime.
ain't gonna work for me. Like I'm 28, 29.
Yeah.
I got to start cashing in right now. You know what I'm saying? Who knows how it goes? Headed down to the arena once again. Shout out Henry Thomas, our agent, man. God bless the dead. The great Henry Thomas calls me as I'm exiting off the expressway. Yeah, I'm headed in to say bye. You know, thank everybody for everything. Just chill when you get there for a second. Don't go inside. You might have something. Okay, I sit in the car. Cool. I wait in the car for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what he got brewing over there. I know they working on something, you know what I'm saying? But I wait. Now, he called me back like 20 minutes later. All right, go in. You can go in and talk to Rouse. I think we got something worked out. So when I get in there, you know, they tell me they got what? I think it was 5 years. I think it was about 30. 5 years, 27, something
you
like
had
that.
40. It was someone was offering you 40, right?
Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas
Dallas was
offering
offering me 40.
Dallas
was offering me 40 and no state tax, just like Florida. So the money would have been cool, but nah, not the opportunity to play. Once again, that's my brother here. Then we got you, who was my brother in college. Then I got an opportunity to play with one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to play the game. And then Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
This is what you play for.
Yeah, buddy.
This is why you play. You know what I'm saying? And this is what has me up for the rest of my life. Because that man who we just talked about, Pat Riley, told us that there's winning and there's misery. Ain't no in between. And the rest of my life has been since he said that. Yeah, the rest of my life has been since he said, because I can't do the in between. And if I'm losing, I'm miserable. This is what these don't understand.
Rouse need therapy.
Yeah.
Rouse need therapy to find that in between.
Yeah. Listen.
You have to find it in between.
Yo, listen, that's how I live my life, and that's how we have lived our life.
Yeah.
It's like he said, he wanted to know who he could win with. That's why he was about to leave. It had nothing to do with the Heat.
Nah,
it had nothing to do with nothing. Who the can I win with? Where can I go and win a championship?
Yeah, we weren't doing it in those 2 years before Brian got here, Killer. I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Now we getting our asses whooped.
But let me give you the other side of that call right there with UD. So I get a call from Hank. This is all happening at the same time. I get a call from Hank. Miami K match, you know, what UD wants, he's out. I'm like, what you mean he out? He's like, he out. He right now headed to the arena. I'm like, what? So I hop on the phone. With Brian and CB. We get on the phone and I say, hey, fellas, all right, we got I know we talking about Killer.
Yeah.
Cool. This don't work without number 40.
Yeah.
So this is how much money we need. I get this. Brian, and there was no hesitation. Brian was like, done. Whatever we need, because this doesn't work without 40. If UD ain't here, I told him, I said, if UD ain't here, this don't feel right for me. Because I know what we're about to do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go see my brother in Dallas and we're about to go do this. And my
gonna
brother
bust
out there,
his ass.
yeah, I don't want to get him on one of them ISOs and bust his ass. So
There'll be some bad decisions made out there. Some bad decisions.
Hey, man,
we want to get him on one of them ISOs.
Don't take it personal. Just take it with you.
Get this step back. And you got to be good on that one. Get these other 20 step back.
Here we go. Listen, I would have definitely flagrant filed your
Oh,
ass.
you would have
definitely flagrant filed
So
your ass.
it wouldn't work. And they knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew it. It just didn't feel right. But obviously, money is money. Everybody, you know, the Heat only had what they had because they had 3 guys who took up most of the money. But at that point, bro, it was bigger than basketball. It was more so like understanding what we was about to embark on and understand who helped build this. And I ain't talking about like the Zoes and the Tim Hardaways and them who did it before us. Yeah. But in our era, we did it.
Yeah.
And so what we're about to go down, there's no way that this works without my brother coming back. And so to their credit, they both gave back the money that we can get to even get him close enough to where he feel comfortable to stay, because he still has a family to feed.
No doubt.
And that 40 looked good over there. He already had a ring. He could have been like, nah, I'll see y'all in the summer.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
At the end of the day, bro, I had to get them their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a family to feed too. So Chris, him, you, that's different. But Chris and Brian, they didn't know me from a can of paint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just see the motherfucker who spit fire and talk on the basketball court. They don't know me as a person. So to give up money, I had to give them their money's worth, man. And I was just, what's understood ain't had to be explained.
But they understood that listen, I love Brian, I love Chris, I even love myself. We ain't the first one jumping in that battle, that fight.
No question.
we also understood what we needed.
Yeah. When
we need
hey,
UD.
Hey, coach, when you saw the juice in the elevator.
Hey, listen, I don't know what y'all think. And we come to Miami. You about to be wearing all that jewelry, driving these cars. We need UD. I don't know.
Hey,
none of this works without UD. I don't know if y'all know that.
Hey, one thing about it, two things for sure, man. I always took it personal when it came to taking care of those boys, when it came on the basketball court. I felt like that was part of my job. I didn't give a about taking a foul or a fine. We need these healthy. We need these to play.
The rematch we've all been waiting for is finally here. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano is set to light up the ring in a battle for the ages. With legacy, titles, and pride on the line, every round counts. There's no better way to turn up the excitement than with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. No matter who you're backing, this is your chance to get in on the action. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code OGs. The crown is yours.
Stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code OGs and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code OGs only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Fellas, I'm talking to y'all one more time. Nobody likes to wait. None of us. I can't stand being in traffic. I can't stand waiting for my coffee. I hate waiting to get off work. So why would I make my woman wait? I don't even wait in line. I get out and leave. Can you imagine if my woman was waiting on me and she walked out the house and left? So don't make her wait. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Have that roast box in your pocket, have it in your glove compartment, have it in your wallet, wherever you need it. But boy, you need to stay hard. Fellas, take control of your sex life. Dominate your bedroom. She might never tell you, but she love it when you run the show. Roast Box is a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against that wet noodle. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue. And getting hard faster means there's no more waiting to perform, baby. Roast Box gives you the boost to last longer, and everyone gets more pleasure and climaxes more. Y'all definitely gonna have to hydrate at the end. Ro connects you with medical providers 100% online, so there's no awkward conversation with in-person providers. If approved, treatment shipped directly to your door. No, it ain't coming in a bow, but you got that roll. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off your first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at ro.co/OGs to find out if prescription Ro Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/OGs for $15 off your first order. I'm gonna tell you, Jay, I was a little jealous. I seen you on Kai Connect. Now, I don't know how you pulled it off because my kids went crazy about it, and that was a huge deal.
And I didn't even know.
You might not even know who the we talking about. Do you know who we talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, I don't know if you watch YouTube, Killer, because I wasn't very aware. But I saw you. Now, can we talk about that and how that went? Because that was real. That was cool as shit.
Listen, man, I didn't know. I mean, I know who the kid is. I know who Kai Cenat is, and I knew of him. And I knew he had a crazy following, but I don't understand it. So it was, the reaction I got from it was a surprise.
That was a big deal, Dre. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that was a big deal. Us old motherfuckers, you was rooting for you. We were like, hell yeah.
So I got a funny thing for you where, you trying to get guys to buy in to, the business of basketball. That's a hamster wheel. Like, you constantly got to be on. Like, you got to show up for the game. You got to, pass the torch. You got to carry the torch. It's a lot of responsibilities as being a professional athlete. Like, you got to protect the shield. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
That's what this partnership's supposed to be. And so I'm trying to get guys that like, hey, man, make sure you sign up for this. Make sure you do this. You know what I'm saying? You got to check your finances.
Yeah.
I've been an athlete. I know how hard it is for them to be like, all right, let me call my financial advisor and say, let's meet once a month.
Yeah.
It sounds easy, but I know I know who's not doing it.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunately a lot of guys. And so I can't get the response that I would like because I just like, come on, fam. Like, come on. But when I tell you, when I went on that show, how many players reached out to me, I'm like, this is what it took for you to buy in.
For you to check on your finances.
That's what. And so that happened randomly. Like, I wasn't trying to go on the show. I didn't ask to go on the show. I ran into him at a game, and him and his boys had them big, like 60s, 70s,
Yes.
suits. You know what I'm saying? They from the Bronx. And so they had their top hats on. Like, they were doing it. I'm like, yo, y'all going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, like, this is dope. You have some young cats. You know, they 22, 21 years old. And so I started asking them questions. This is the question I asked any of them. How did you know you were good at this? Because I don't even know what this. I don't even know what this
That's
is.
a great question.
I don't even know what you do. I don't know it because I'm past removed from that generation. So I'm like,
what is this? What is this?
That's a great question.
How did
Whatever
you know?
it is, it's making money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Whatever
so
it is.
I knew something was different about him when I saw him in a McDonald's commercial.
Yeah.
Right? So like T-Mobile, like, okay, cool. I see they trying to get to the youth. They trying to get to that demographic. You know, I understand the consumer that T-Mobile wants. But I'm knowing like where I come from with McDonald's, like after a basketball game when I was a kid, I'm trying to go get that Olympic Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird cup, supersized.
Want that cup.
Because I know I'm only going to McDonald's like once every other month. Like this is my opportunity to get this cup. So that's what I'm identifying like what McDonald's like when it was in its heyday. So I said, Kai, do you understand how hard it is to have an endorsement deal by McDonald's? Like how many NBA players had an endorsement deal by McDonald's? Like when LeBron's next on the Wheaties box, LeBron's next at McDonald's. Like it's only reserved for them. Yeah. So I'm like, Kai, I'm like, Kai, do you understand who you are? Like I saw you in a McDonald's commercial. Like I get it. I don't know what the hell it is you do. So like, how you know you good at this? And he was like, nah, they just fuck with me. And I'm like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? And so now we starting to talk, and I'm understanding, like, he's smart, because they get it.
Oh, yeah, he doing it.
So I'm like, all right, now what's your next 10 years look like? So I'm asking him questions. He's like, damn, you ask different questions. And so now I'm talking to his homies. Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all stay on y'all game, man.
Yeah.
Because if you got a McDonald's deal, what's your market cap? And that's Bloomberg. Like, if you sold everything, your entire value, if you can get everything you could out of yourself, if you got 100% of your value, that's your market cap. Like, you know, it's only 4 companies now with a $3 trillion market cap. Meaning if the company sold off every single thing and it sold all of its products, 100% is worth $3 trillion. And you're not getting that, but like they're just giving you this number. So I'm like, yo, if somebody paying you $50 million, you probably worth $500 million. So I'm just talking to him like that because that's just where my brain is. This is Bloomberg talking, right? So he's like, man, nobody talk to us like this. And I'm asking his homeboys the same questions, like, yo, y'all make sure y'all keep y'all circle tight, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay focused. Don't let all the, instant gratification keep you short-term vision, and I don't see you in 2 years. I need to see you in 10 years. Because once you phase out of this, what's next for you? Because there's going to be a next up-and-coming person. So how can you pivot this to something else as you get older and older and keep your community, the eyeballs? Because that's all it is the eyeballs. And so he was like, man, ain't nobody really show love to my friends like you did. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm just regular. This is who I am. I'm like you, UD. Like, I'm just an outgoing person. I'm like chopping it up with my people.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, I'm going to LA. I'm doing this thing. Would you pull up? I was like, all right, cool. And I didn't get excited because I got a lot of NBA players calling me like, yo, get me on the show. Get me on the show. Like, they super excited. I'm just like, all right, if you want me to come on the show. Like, I didn't even think I was going on the show. I was like, I'm going to come out to LA and chop it up with you. I'm trying to talk business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got an idea, something I'm trying to do with him, with his generation and, NBA players or whatever. Yeah. And so he was like, all right, cool. Worked it out. Pulled up to the house. And when I walk in, I was like, yo, this young dude is crazy. I'm like, yo, this is. So you know how we got the set right here?
Yeah.
And you know how you watch some shows? Like say you watching it's the morning show on Apple TV Plus, right? It's one of the big shows. And it's like based on like the morning show and all the scandals that happen on that. But you know how you watch a newsroom and it's like it's like 30 TVs on display. Yeah. They got the control system. Go to this channel, go to this set, go to this live, go to this feed, go to that feed. And it's like
he got the whole Ron Burgundy set up.
No, he had that in this house.
Ron Burgundy set up.
So when I walk in, I'm like, oh, y'all going crazy. Oh, you going crazy, twin? I'm talking like them now. Y'all, you going crazy, twin? Like, Now imagine this whole wall right here behind you, UD. Imagine that whole room is all screens and it's a control board. They switching flips, and it's this big house. They got cameras everywhere, and so this is the best way to explain it. It's like having a sleepover when you 10, 11 years old. So before you can get off the porch, you can't go out on the block. You and your homeboys like, yo, we gonna have a pillow fight, but then we gonna watch a movie, but then we gonna play paintball. But now we're gonna play spades. All right, now we're gonna play hide and seek. We're gonna bring some girls. We can play hide and seek till the sun go down. Like you kind of map out your weekend. It's you and your boys, but everything got to be in the house because you can't go outside. I'm like, oh, y'all playing sleepover as adults. Like y'all crazy, man. But it was so cold.
That's a cool idea.
These dudes had a funeral for his hamster. Man, it was crazy, man. Because I'm trying to figure out like, yo, man. And so they set up, it's almost like Wild 'N Out, or it's almost like In Living Color. It's like improv. They just set up a set like they playing, sleepover. Yeah. All right, my pet hamster died. We're gonna do a funeral for the pet hamster. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, I had a sleepover with my friend, and I was on a bike, the front tire fell off, and I chipped my tooth. And so we spent like 30 minutes, like I'm crying because I'm young and my teeth fell out. And he was like, man, you good, fam? All right, we're going to take a minute. We got to take a break because Dre lost his tooth. But 30 minutes later, we're going to go do something else. Yeah. So his hamster died. Fam, it's really like 30 paid actors. He had a set that's a real funeral. They had a big, huge picture of the hamster. Wow. They had a casket. No, he had a real like
What kind of casket, Dre, for the hamster?
It was like this big.
What kind of casket for the hamster?
I don't think the hamster was really in there, but the hamster really did die. And then he had a dude do like a eulogy in the black tie, like a reverend. And then he had people in there, and so we walked.
Did they have pallbearers? Somebody carried the casket?
No, it was already up there. But no, he had like, it's like everyone's dressed in black. They got on gowns. People got on their suits and ties. Oh, and I'm fresh from upstairs. We just came from another set. We was kicking it. I did a motivational speech. We laughing about something else. We talking about the LeBron block. We talking about this. We talking about that. So when I walk downstairs, I'm like, oh man, y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy as hell. Like you try not to laugh because he's dead serious. So we sit down, and it's a black girl in there, like a black woman. She start wailing and crying like a black woman. Wow. No, not my baby, not my baby. Yo. And then his other friend is like, y'all should have took him. Why it had to be him? He should be dead.
Yo, fella,
so I start laughing, man. I put my head down. I'm like, yo, man. And then Kai's like, Andre, did you think it's funny that my hamster died? And I'm like, man, stop. And so then like once we done with that, go to the back. Now we hooping. He was like, yo, we gonna play ones. We gonna play a game of horse, and then we doing that. Then we have another set. I'm just like, hey, man.
He got all this set up. He's playing all this himself.
Hey, man, you a genius, dog.
Wow.
He's a genius, man. Wow. And I think that's the power of our community, and that's why we got to keep looking out for each other, because, like, man, this dude's got the most paid subscribers. Yeah. He got his own channel. He's got his own TV station, essentially.
I love it.
And then he just feeding it different shows, and this is how he's doing it. And so I'm just like, yo, this is how these kids are thinking. And so when you don't understand it, you can be like, man, our new generation's lazy. They don't want to work. They just want to sit in front of a camera. But when it's done the right way, it's like, oh, this is how we should be inspiring ourselves to create things, because we're creatives. Yeah. And now we have the consumer. Like, I know who's buying my channel, and I know what they like. So I know what kind of commercial it wants. And I know I'm supposed to be a part of it. So like McDonald's, I got 600,000 people that's coming to see me at a certain time every single day. Yeah. All right, make a McDonald's commercial. All right, give me the endorsement deal. You know what I'm saying? Get T-Mobile's coming. He got a Nike deal. Nike only had deals for athletes, not the entertainers. Kevin Hart had one, whatever. Travis Scott. Now they got streamers. Wow. Kai Cenat got a Nike deal. Wow. This kid is different, man.
Wow. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout the fuck out. My kids love him. When I saw you on this show, that was a huge deal. So,
but I didn't get it before. I didn't get it either. And then now I'm like, oh, I get it.
I kind of got it a little bit when I saw him. I don't know if it was All-Star, it was a game, but I think it was the same game where you say he was dressed up in a suit, but he was sitting right next to Adam Silver.
That was the same game.
Yeah, he was sitting right next to Adam Silver, like shooting the shit with Adam Silver. I was like, yeah, he got some
Yeah,
he got some with him. He sat right next to Adam Silver, locked in with him. So now that was dope, and all the old heads over here we was loving that. We felt like we was on the show.
Yeah.
The young fellas, my kids, huge fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we go to the All-Star games, and when I take my kids to the All-Star games, they ain't trying to meet the players. They want to meet the YouTubers.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't give a about the guys in the game.
Yeah.
Like, they could care less. They've been growing up around NBA players their whole life.
It's very true.
So, but if they could meet him or somebody, or Speed, or somebody that's doing what he does.
Yep.
Because I watch Speed clips. Shout out Speed. I watch your clips too. That was funny as shit when you was with that alligator.
Speed is crazy.
Yeah, he was around with an alligator, trying to jump on an alligator back or catch an alligator or some shit like that. So I with Speed too. So, but when I watch all these guys and my kids, they show up to these events and they're not worried about the athletes.
Right.
They're not. They'll spend a day watching Kai or Speed and just watching the things that they do. Speed jumping over a damn car coming at them 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep.
My kids watch that shit all the time,
Yep.
and they love that shit.
Yep.
So that was huge, and that was a big deal for us. How was the pallbearer carrying the casket with the hamster?
By the time we showed up to the set, the casket was already up front where it was at.
Okay.
Where
I
was
was
that?
wondering, Killer. I was the pallbearer. Here you go. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was different.
Oh, that's so funny. You was a Fed? Yeah, you was. You was a Fed. And you got my boy Young Bird, man. How was that? How was Young Bird?
Oh man, let me tell y'all something, man.
That sounds like the same bird we got.
We got the same bird you got there.
Yeah, but see, we had Bird, man. Bird was going through it, man. And shout out to Bird, man. Dog, he was his authentic self, man. So he had to learn a lesson, obviously. But like, man, Bird was wide open. He'd be in. Bird's the only guy. I swear to God, this is a true story. We would be doing 3-man weave, and in some. You ever been in the gym where the scorer's table is out, but the bleachers are back, so there's space behind the scorer's table? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, Bird used to run behind the scorer's table when we were running 3-man weave. Like, just to show, like, he was flying high. He was in better shape than everybody. This dude would be booking it. I'm talking about going. We're like, all right, Bird. All right, like he would just be out there. We in Oklahoma. Bird is wearing wife beaters. He's getting tatted up. But he in Oklahoma. It's 10 degrees outside.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was wide open with us, bro. He was wide open. So he was a little bit more calm when he was with you guys.
Okay.
I tell you what, if he's a little calm with us,
but
he
that
was
Bird
wide
we
open.
got was wild. He's a wild boy.
Got that cup of mud.
Your cup of mud. That man had 7 cups of coffee for the game called cup of mud.
17.
Yeah.
17.
Every time he walk in, use a cold ass honky. Paul George dunked on his ass so nasty in that playoffs. Remember that?
Hey man, why you gonna bring that up?
Because I
man?
love Bird. Good call.
Damn, man.
Bird.
I think that's when they took game 1. Did they take game 1 in Miami? Y'all took game 1 in Miami, right? Oh, y'all took game 2.
I think it was game 2.
That was when he dunked on Bird. They took game 2 in Miami.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you, D West. I know how y'all felt on y'all side, but on our side, we was a little. We can say it now. We was a little shaky. It was a house of cards.
That's all we tried. That's all we hoped for. Like, we could put the pressure on, to try to sneak one for real.
That whole East though, man, I'm telling you, like, you guys, Boston, Chicago, it was all physical brands of basketball. I mean, it was a gosh damn. That was tough.
Yeah, it was a different, and it was just it was a very thin line, like between we experienced this in the West, and then it happened while I was in the East. But like in the West one year, we had, everybody won 50 plus games.
I was part of that. I was in Memphis at the time. Everyone won 50 games. 50 games was like a 7 seed.
So, we had been used to like them kind of tight playoff battles, but in the East, we were thinking the same thing. Like, the divisional games for us meant a lot. Fighting with Chicago, obviously trying to keep pace with, because the Knicks with Melo and them, they had built a tough group too. So, trying to stay in the hunt for one of those top 1 or 2 or 3 spots in the East. So we could be positioned to potentially make a deep run, was all that we had on our focus. And then when we realized, like, okay, we weren't, because we kind of gave ourselves like some measuring sticks, how we fared against the best teams, how many teams we could beat in the West, and how many of those, how it is. You go on those road trips and you win 5 or 6 games out West. You're like, okay, we might be on to something. So we did that early on, and then the confidence grew from there for us as a group.
Talk to us about Golden State. So you go play Golden State. Obviously,
hello.
You got more?
Yeah. So the Warriors, man. The Warriors was a great experience for me, right? Obviously, won championships, and I'll tell you, man, like this real. Like I went. There would be a moment every one of those series, bro, where I would be standing on the free throw line, and I'm like, we lost to these again 3 years in a row, and I'd be standing on that free throw line, facing Miami's bench. And I would always make eye contact with James Jones. And he would have this smirk on his face. That would be like, good try, but you didn't. Like that smirk used to drive me crazy. And so when I got to Golden State, I'm like, this is it. Like you feel this level of like, you've got the group to win it. You know what I mean? It's not like it was in Indiana where we're like, we got a lot of things have to go right. With the Warriors, it was like, we just can't f this up. Like, we got to be, people don't realize, like, that environment, obviously when I was in Indiana, we had an environment like this. But that winning environment, there's no letdown. So every single day, foot is on the gas, every shoot around, every video session, every weight room session, every practice, every city that we go into, there's like this seriousness that you're carrying yourself with because you've got this really, really high expectation of yourself. So, we were able to put it together. Like, and that a lot of people say, well, your team was super talented. It was, but y'all been in NBA locker rooms. Yes. The ego is crazy.
Yes.
And so being able to keep everybody's ego in check and everybody kind of get on the same page, have this kind of professionalism and this continuity that would all but ensure we're going to give ourselves the best shot to win it. So having gone through that experience twice was great. Being able to learn and watch these guys preparing, but really watch the championship level of preparation from the coaches and all that stuff. It was really a good learning experience for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've been coaching AAU for like 20 plus years now, man. So I really like working with young people. So I was able to use a lot of that and develop my own style and coaching style, basketball philosophy. I got all that in my last 5, 6, 7 years in the NBA. That's what it became about for me. It was really just becoming a basketball guy, learning as much as I could, retaining as much as I could, taking notes, keeping scouting reports, all that. Just so I could have this knowledge base for basketball that I use when I'm coaching young people.
Yeah, to me it sounds like they have a culture, and I'm always interested because I know if you're a team that wins consistently, there is a culture. I only know what the Miami Heat culture is. I've only been around that, but from afar, Golden State has a culture. You know what I'm saying? And it could be different, but I'm happy you touched on that because the success that they have and the things they speak on. Steph, you got a chance to be around Steph. You got a chance to be around KD. These guys are not great just by accident. They ain't just throwing at the wall to see if it stick, man. Just talk about the work ethic, you know what I'm saying, and the professionalism that those two guys have. And do you think that KD got a little bit too much of us, flack for, coming to Golden State?
Hell yeah, he did. I'll answer that.
Right. Well, I'll say this, man. Like, first time I saw Steph work out, and I usually try to see what guys are doing and try to say, hey, man, I could tell this to a young kid, see if he can do it. None of that was applicable. Like, the level of difficulty that he puts himself through, like, you couldn't ask no kid to do none of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't.
That's real.
I mean, it's just, I'm like, what am I, like, just the ridiculous amount of makes you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers, like, you got to make 25 straight and they all got to be, I'm like, damn, bro. Yeah. Like, you know how long it would take somebody to do this stuff that he's doing in a minute, 2 minutes, hitting 50 straight threes and then moving and all this other type. Like, it's bananas. So it was, it's no secret why he's the way he is, right? He just works at that level. Just like all of those guys, all the great guys have that level of work ethic that, a lot of us are like, damn, you get to a point where you're like, well, I can't do that. And that's just past the limits of my, who I am. Like, I just can't, you literally can't do some of the stuff that some of these guys do, the 4 a.m. workouts.
Yeah.
And then, you just getting the reps and the type of reps and the shooting proficiency. All of that stuff. So seeing all of that kind of locked in, and then, they never took days off. Like, they were in the gym, Clay and Steph in the gym all the time. KD, and I'm like, damn, like, this is why. Like, this is why they shoot the ball like this. This is why they can bang off. The first time I was in there with KD, I remember this. The first time we looked at the stat sheet, and both them motherfuckers shot like 13, 14 threes apiece. And we looked at this, I said, like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't question it. You know what I'm saying? Because they literally getting 500-600 makes after shoot around, and then 300-400 makes before the game, and then 600 makes after practice and before, like, just constantly. So you're like, all right, well, bet some games we're gonna shoot 18 threes. Mm-hmm. Where I'm looking at it like, man, in Indiana, 18 threes is like 3 games worth. You know what I'm saying? We when I was in New Orleans, we'd look at if Page had shot like 4 or 5 threes, we'd be like, damn, Page, you was jacking this today, bro. Like, 4 or 5. There's 5 or 6 threes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Today these guys shoot that in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Extendo.
I haven't been around Steph to see his work, but obviously you see it at levels. I've been around KD in the summertime. I think the most important thing for any young player is to see those guys work and actually get workouts with those guys, because it's eye-opening, like you're saying. Like, I watched KD, he's year 16, 17. I was with him last summer. I brought Paolo out there to work with him. It's like, yo, see every rep. Every rep's a game rep. And it's the same thing every day. The dude's a hoop junkie. Like, that dude is just a basketball savant. Like, he loves it, but that's why he scores so easy. He's the easiest scorer I've ever seen. I love the way he plays.
Right.
I was able to watch and pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to see guys like yourself, Kurt Thomas, Keith Askins,
K-Dog,
K-Dog,
Kevin Willis.
The list goes on and on. But just talk about, the beginning, and the building of the culture. You know what I'm saying? That I carried with so much pride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
we're talking Miami Heat culture now, right?
the Miami Heat culture. But just talk about the beginning when you first got to the Miami Heat.
We talking about
just
3.
establishing that.
We first of all, it started with conditioning. You had to be in the best shape of your life.
If you thought you was in shape, you still had to get in shape.
You had to be in the best shape of your life, because Pat's approach was, we're going to outlast our opponents in the fourth quarter. We're going to be in better shape than them. We're going to run them into the ground. Defensively, we're going to be up and into them. Our help defense is going to be impeccable.
Yes.
Somebody get beat, a body's there. Yeah. You got to run through me, to get to where you're going, And I loved it because it held guys accountable.
Man.
It really did. It held guys accountable, So you got in the game, you knew what the hell your job was. And we were all connected to a string. So if I went this way, I was pulling Mike with me. Yeah. Like, okay, come on over here. You know what I'm saying? And we never left anybody on the island by themselves. Even on the post, we butt front.
Yeah.
Made it hard for the offensive man to catch the ball. And then when he caught it, it was a guy down there digging. Mm-hmm. He was digging. We gonna make it very hard for you to score, which is why, the scoring totals were much lower.
No doubt.
Because we were defending our asses off. We took pride in holding teams to shooting 39%. 38, 39%. We took pride in that. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to hold you to 39, 38%, because we contesting every shot, we blocking closing out, getting every rebound, all of that stuff. We trapping the box. You go baseline, there's a man there.
Yes.
Standing on the baseline, you got to run me over to get where you got to go. So those principles started Heat culture, our 3.5-hour practices. We knew
And let me tell you what, I hated
3.5
days
hour
off.
practice. We're actually 3.5 hour practice.
no
Close
doubt.
out
We
drills
get
till
it
you
in.
can smell the shoes burning.
Oh,
the
no
rubber
doubt.
on the shoes burning. We close out drilling.
How
And
about
not just the
loose
guards?
ball? How about the
bigs
loose,
too?
how
Zoning
about
closing out to the
closing out
3-point
hard?
line.
How about the loose ball drills? How about the charge drills? You had to take charges from everybody. Boom,
Yeah, boom.
boom. You taking charges. You know.
Listen, loose ball,
Very
you going after it
physical.
like your life on the line.
Oh yeah, loose ball. He would put 2 guys on the end line. And we go to have. He'll roll the ball out. He'll blow the whistle, and we all had to go. We 2 had to run and get the ball, and we played 1-on-1 from there. Oh, it was no joke.
I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, it was Alcatraz, brother. It was no
But
joke. It was the Rock.
competition and iron sharpening iron.
Oh, it was iron sharpening iron.
I
no
love
doubt.
it, and I don't like to sound like.
But the
'cause-
beauty of it is that we developed so many winning habits that when we got in the game was so easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so easy. We were like, we just play. We don't want to practice.
Man.
We want to play.
Exactly.
We want to play. Yeah,
Hey,
no
I ain't gonna
doubt.
lie to you. It's funny
Yeah.
though you say that because you know you don't want to be like the guy who walk up a hill both ways to school. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
to these young kids now, like 3.5 hour training camp practice, we're 3.5 hour practices.
Yeah.
Like I was
yeah.
my rookie year, I get there's Doc Rivers. Obviously, Doc comes with a lot of the Coach Riley's pedigree.
Yeah.
Man, the first training camp practice, you're doing their 17s. If you don't
Damn
pass
right.
your 17s, you're doing 17s the next
Yeah,
morning.
you're doing
You do a
17,
17s test,
No doubt.
and then you practice for 3.5 hours.
Right,
Man,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, the last hour and a half of my first training camp, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Because you do
yeah.
that. You do that 17s, and you got to pass that 17s test, and then you
By
practice.
the way,
for 3.5 hours.
17s was the width of the court.
Yes.
17
Yes.
times.
17 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And you
do
had to
5
do
of
it
them.
under time.
Yo, under time. If you didn't make it,
it
you did the
had
next
to be
morning.
under time, and if you ain't make it, you
Man,
had to
listen,
run it over.
I ain't gonna. My first training camp practice, if you asked me to recall, I couldn't recall it. I was like, it was just blur.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, you rather be in practice than in the playpen.
Oh,
ain't lying.
You rather be in practice than in the playpen,
I'd rather
so
be practicing
you'll
than
get
on
your ass out there and run.
So if you was hurt, or couldn't practice that day, you had to go in the playpen. So Bill Ferran, our strength coach at the
Wild
time,
Bill.
he had you over there doing exercises, and you ain't all this nonstop different exercises, and you would rather practice than
You
be
would
over
rather
the playpen.
practice.
I had my sports hernia surgery when I was here before I played for Miami. And I'll never forget as I was getting back, they put me on that bike. I walked over and I said, man, I'm practicing tomorrow. They said, you ain't ready.
You wanna
I
be
said,
on
I
that
ain't
bike.
doing
I
that.
remember that.
I told you, I promise I ain't doing that shit right
Hey
there.
man, I was on that. When you could be on that bike, if you had lower extremity issues and you could pedal a bike, bruh,
No, it's
you were
the
like
worst.
Lance Armstrong over there.
And Bill would be right
Yeah.
there. Okay, they're running. Go. Like, no, that's not how this plays out.
But let me tell you something, man, and this is what I have
boy.
learned. Like that mindset, that will to do whatever it takes to succeed and to put yourself in a winning situation, even if people think you're nuts.
It's lost.
That helps
Jeez.
outside of
It's
basketball,
lost. But
outside
people-
of heat coaching. You can take the things that we learn in that mindset, and you can apply that in anything.
But there's a lot of guys, because they don't know about that, they wouldn't value something like that. They look at it as discipline. Like, they disciplining me, we practicing this long, and you're like, no, we are developing some armor to help you deal with adversity come game time, They'll help you deal with challenges, when the game starts, So I was ready for anything.
You said it in here, you were right. Like, one thing about it being here is games were easy compared
Oh,
to
yeah, the games were easy, for
games
sure.
were easy.
Yes.
You're like, oh, that's all it was? You didn't have to ice after
Very
the game.
much so. So hardest working, most professional,
Nasty.
toughest, meanest, nastiest, best condition. All these, adjectives, put together to create our culture, and we hold people to a high standard, especially being in the best shape of your life. That's where it starts.
Yes.
Because in order for you to perform at your optimal condition, then you got to really take pride into being in the best shape of your life. And it's a lot of guys that don't value that. They really don't. They don't make that investment.
Let me tell you something.
And you use we can use the analogy as Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt would train for 4 years to run one race.
Yeah, to run 8 and a half, 9
Yeah,
seconds.
8.5, 9
Yeah.
seconds. So why can't we train and get ourselves in excellent condition to go out there and play 82 games?
It's what what you're saying there, you can talk about in LeBron James, what he's doing right now.
Jesus, let me tell you what.
Let me tell you something.
I am. First of all, I am. First of all, it was an honor to have been in the front office and witnessed part of his legacy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I got newfound respect.
I agree.
Man, it's crazy.
Totally. Because
He's in the MVP conversation.
So-
yeah, man.
He is,
to be 40 years old
So-
and to do what he's doing right now is unheard
Hey,
of.
so obviously you know my relationship with Bron. I love this dude, right?
Yeah.
And people asked me when I left Cleveland the last time, how many years do you think you can do this? At that time,
Yeah.
I said maybe a couple, 2-3 more years. This
Bro,
level.
he's shooting 52% right now from
His
the
numbers,
field.
his numbers.
He's
he didn't
averaging
win MVP
25
here in
points and
Miami.
shit. Yeah, most definitely.
His numbers now
There's no doubt.
are better than what he did here that won the MVP. in Miami.
Incredible.
It's unheard of. Like,
And by the way, his team's number 2 in the West.
That's what I'm saying.
and they win.
And I want to make sure people understand the rigors and like
the jumping, the pounding.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Just
The
one
constant
season.
jumping
not
and
22,
pounding.
Just one season.
The banging and all of that, just the rigors of the sport. I mean, how is he able to do this at 40?
And to go that deep all the time. Like he's been doing it like
I think he's an alien, man. He ain't from here.
No, Zoe.
He from another planet. He ain't from
I've
here,
told him
man.
he gets mad at me every time I say it. He's a test tube baby.
Yeah.
100% they went in there and they went ding,
Listen,
ding,
when I see
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
listen,
yeah.
when I
ding,
see
ding.
that-
Oh, look at this guy here.
when I see that boy get on the
unbelievable.
scale and it said 265, I said, this is different.
Yeah, totally.
I was a power forward and I was only 240.
But you know how much I weigh right now?
You
I weigh
25 pounds
I
more
weigh
than me.
265 now.
I was a power forward. The guy weighed me by 25 pounds. I was looking at myself like, I got to get my
I've
together.
told I've told this story before. You know, obviously weigh body fat every whatever day it was here.
Yeah.
We playing, and I've told the story on here before. This is why I know he's a test tube. We play Indiana. He has like 46, 16, and 9, whatever. Goes overtime. He plays 52 minutes. You know, basically all the minutes. He weighed 265 before. He weighed 271 afterwards, or something like that. He gained like 7 pounds.
Well, how was that? Because he drank a lot of fluids or something?
Coach. That's why I'm saying he's not real.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's doing this, he just scored his 50,000th point.
Yeah, that's another thing.
He just scored his 50,000th point.
Man, ain't nobody ever gonna break that.
Never.
Yeah, not in our lifetime. Y'all won't see
Coach,
that.
the fact
Y'all
that
won't see
he's
that.
40.
Yeah.
Yes.
40.
Yeah.
Bro, if you told me to go run right now, I'd be a trouble.
And we talk about guys who we played with this guy. We talk about a guy who actually prefers to pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a pass guy. Bron is a pass guy.
He is a
They got
pass guy.
50,000 points.
Yeah.
50,000.
Motherfucker would be a ball hog, you have 100,000.
Yeah.
He was a ball hog.
No doubt.
I'm telling you right now, man, I hope y'all enjoy it now because y'all
Yeah,
gonna miss
enjoy
it when you go.
Enjoy every minute of it. Yeah.
I ain't mad at him,
Yeah,
though.
it's a
He doing
treat
his
to
damn
watch.
thing.
It really is.
It really is.
You know,
Well,
hope
it's
y'all.
getting scary because we talking about Bron, we talking about Steph, we talking about KD.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an end of an era where
Oh, yeah.
I might be searching for like, God damn, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's gonna be an end of an era soon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But these young boys, they doing their thing, but it's gonna be an end of an era soon.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this era though. 90s.
Miami in the 90s. Woo, I can't wait. I was waiting to ask this question, Big
talk
So,
about this
because I ain't had no paper. Them cocaine in the 90s, woo, let me know how it was in the 90s when I was broke sitting over there.
First of all, paint the picture because what I people like, even for guys like me who came around in 2000 and whatever. Where did you guys practice and play here? Because we had,
Not just practice and play. I want to hear the other shit too.
we are getting
You
that.
want to talk about that?
Yeah,
I want to hear about the other shit too.
get
Miami
We
in the 90s.
practice at Palmetto Rec Center.
Where the hell
we
is
didn't
that?
have it's off
See,
of
that's what I'm
836.
saying. Yeah, I'm
It's off of
trying-
836. It
Y'all
was
practice
like
at
a
a rec center?
We practiced at a
I'm
rec
happy I
center.
came late.
Yeah.
I'm happy I came late. Yeah, it's
Can
practice
these
at
young
a
kids
Yeah,
please say thank
Palmetto
you for the
Rec.
rest of y'all?
Oh no, we paved the way.
Because
Come
I'll
on,
be honest,
man.
when I first got to
they don't
Memphis,
have
we practiced
a,
at Rose
they don't have a
College.
clue. They don't have a clue.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't
what
know that.
these young cats, what y'all are benefiting from,
Yeah.
these young cats are benefiting from, right? Y'all don't have a clue what the pioneers of this game.
That's what I'm saying. That's unbelievable.
Y'all don't have a clue what they did to make the game what it is today. You know, what they had to go flying commercial.
Yep.
Okay,
nah.
they had their own planes.
Flying commercial after the game, you
Yeah,
stayed over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
nah.
the game, you
Yeah.
stayed over. All of that stuff. You
Nah.
know, it's just
Practicing that Palmetto.
yeah.
I ain't used to that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Or if it's Philly, New York, they took the bus. They didn't fly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. They were busting it, man. You know, they were finding ways to save money.
Yeah, y'all traveling
You know,
like the
because the
Globetrotters.
salary clap.
God damn, man, what we talking about, man? What we doing?
No doubt. You know, and then our practice facility, like I said, was a recreational center. And I remember our first
So
practice.
no locker room there, Zoe?
Bro,
What
Our locker room was some old people that had just worked out in the rec center. They were in there with us.
Old balls and all over the place before practice.
Hey, you need to know.
I'm leaving. I don't want to practice no more. My stomach hurt.
First of all, the out of bounds was the wall. So you had the out of bounds line right here, and you had the wall right there. See, so the whole gym, when we practiced, all the out of bounds, so we were running to
the damn wall
with no pads on the wall or none of that. So that's how it started here in Miami in 1995.
Yeah, I ain't know that. Where were y'all playing your games at?
We played our games in the old arena. Yeah, that was right here in Overtown, which literally is maybe a half a mile away from the new arena.
Yes.
And being in that old arena, and I kind of miss the atmosphere in there because we were closer to the fans. So there was more of a homely,
almost like a college atmosphere, a little more
connection. Yeah, most definitely. So
now you can ask your question. 90s off the court,
outside. Miami in the 90s outside when you got some paper.
I feel like a video should be
tell me. I tell people this all the time.
I've
never been to South Beach till I got in the NBA zone.
So
you just tell me.
You know what?
Tell me what you want to tell me. Don't tell me everything. Just tell me what you want to tell me.
You know what saddens me about that though? You hadn't been to South Beach because there's kids in Miami right now that live 15 minutes from the beach, and they've never been. And we got millions of people from all over the world
that come here.
Come in here to visit our beaches, and it's unfortunate. It's like there's this invisible wall up. Even adults, you got adults that's never been to the beach because they don't feel like it's for them.
Yeah,
they didn't feel like it don't belong to them. Yeah, they didn't think it's for them. It's a public damn beach. So that's one of the things that we do in our foundation. We try to. Part of their development, we try to expose them to parts of Miami that they haven't seen. And part of that is just taking them to the beach, put their foot in the sand and put their feet in the water and what have you, So, but Miami back then was on and popping, man. I had a club. I had a club on South Beach.
Hold on.
Breaking news. What club?
It was called Onyx.
And I ain't been to Onyx, but I know Onyx.
Pat, Mickey, all of them. And everybody used to come in and.
You got Pat to come to the club, dog?
He came to the club one night, man. He came to the club, man. He was up there. I had him in the VIP
Rouse
section.
Been holding out on us.
Yeah, man.
You've been holding out on us, Rouse. Really?
So it was called Onyx, and it was open a couple years, man. I had a great time, So I'm not gonna tell you some of the stories that.
I don't want nothing incriminating, but I know y'all had a good time.
Ask a question about Miami in the 90s. We got to put a VHS tape in or something.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. But the beach was on.
We had the Rolex. We had the Cocos. We had the shout out.
We had Cocos and Rolex. We had all that. Rolex was
so that's so you know. So I just used to hear about y'all. Y'all was legends in the hood. Them boys was in Cocos last night. I'd be like, damn, the boys in Cocos last night. I can't wait. Now get me some money.
You talked about that year with CP and Blake. That team was fun, man. Talk about some of that
scary.
Stuff.
That's so scary, boy. And then, like you said, once you deal with the layers of CP and Blake coming up in the pick and roll and and DeAndre, then we got to worry about you coming off the bench in the fourth quarter. That was scary, dog.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, UD. I'm gonna tell you this, and I ain't never said this. We saw y'all in China, right? You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
We went to China.
Yes.
I think D Wade just signed with Li Ning. We go to China. I signed with the Clippers that summer. And y'all blow us out the first game in China. It didn't feel like a preseason game. It felt like a real game. Y'all blew us out, and then we beat y'all. We left China. We was like, man, we going to see them in the finals. Like, we just thought we was going to see you guys in the finals. So to go back to what y'all are saying, bro, I think we're one of the best teams to have never been to the finals. Because we literally, at different points, we had every single piece you needed. I think for like a 5-year stretch, we had like the second or third most wins in the regular season, right? And then immaturity, injuries. There was a time when I think the Spurs beat you guys in 14. Yes. You guys beat them in 13. They beat y'all in 14. We came back and played the Spurs in the first round after they won the championship. It goes to 7 games. We beat them. We're like, damn, we put out the defending champs. Oh, this is the year. Chris gets hurt the last game. Remember at the game when he shot, but his hamstring gets hurt. We still go up 3-1 on the Rockets. It was so cold in game 6. At home, we're up 19. We need to just finish this quarter. We're going to the Western Finals, which we think we're going to be Golden State. Because Curry was hurt at that time at first. But James Harden, when they came back in that game in game 6, he didn't play 1 minute in the fourth quarter. He was sitting there with his clothes. You know, he's thinking the game's over. It was Josh Smith, Pablo Prigioni, Jason Terry, Corey Brewer that came back and walked us down, and then they beat us in game 7. And that was like our last real chance that we thought to go to the final.
See, that's
bunch of dogs. They just threw the dogs out there. They just threw the dogs out there.
That's the type of shit when you retire. That's stuff you miss. Those playoff series.
I've never got over that.
That's the that you lose sleep over. Yeah, that's the shit you lose sleep over.
You know, I never got over that, bro. Ever. That was our best chance. But like our practices. So our second unit at one time was myself, Bledsoe, Lamar Odom, Matt Barnes, Ronnie Torioff, Grant Hill. So we're going against the starter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Our practices, bro, are crazy. And we talking, we going at it. Like, and we won a lot. I ain't gonna lie. We won a lot in the second unit, but we went at it. And then, and y'all can look this up. There was a stretch for, I think, in a month, the starters didn't play in the fourth quarter. Because once it was even, and we came in, the game was over with. They didn't have to come back.
Yeah, that's iron sharpening iron right there.
In LA.
Yeah, that's iron sharpening iron. That's how you want to practice, though. That reminds me of the first. That reminds me of the year we had the big 3, and then we had Mike coming off the bench, and myself, and I think Rashard Lewis, and we had Ronnie Terioff end up being with us. But those were the type of practices that we had. Obviously, until LeBron just took his to another level where nobody couldn't go to. But
hey, can we talk about LeBron for a second? We talking OGs
we sure
that nasty ass dunk, that dunk last night, that was crazy.
I can't. You would have to put like Magic Johnson, Vince Carter. I'm just thinking like, I've never seen someone who is so smart and so athletic. Those two ain't supposed to go together like that.
Nah.
And the way he takes pictures of the game, like he's putting his mind in the game before he even puts any athleticism in the game.
Listen,
and then
man,
he's still windmilling off the wrong foot with the left hand. Like, bro, what are we doing?
If you're a low IQ coach, you can't coach LeBron because he'll put you to shame. He'll embarrass you. If you're a low IQ coach, he'll put you to shame and you can't coach him. And if you're a low IQ player, he gonna get you out of there because he can't tolerate that.
He probably can't play with him.
He can't tolerate that. Your basketball IQ has got to be up to par. Now, most guys' basketball IQ ain't gonna be on his level, but if you're a coach, he's gonna embarrass you if you don't have a good basketball IQ. And if you're a player, he's gonna get you the fuck up out of there if you ain't got a good basketball IQ. Because his basketball IQ is just that great.
It's unbelievable to still watch what he's doing. Like, I saw a stat. It was, I think, from his sophomore year of high school till present day. He's only not averaged 25 points twice. I was like, what? Like, what? From sophomore year of high school to present day, he's only not averaged 25 twice, 2 or 3 times. I may be off one year.
I wonder what that was. When would that have been, though? You come to think of it.
I think it was his rookie year because he averaged 20.
Okay.
And I think he's right under 25 today. I think he's like 24.
That's a ridiculous stat.
And this coming from somebody who said that they don't want to score. Like he wanted to make.
Come on.
Yeah, I never really wanted to be a scorer. You know, I just like to play basketball and I just like to make the right plays and play which he does. He does like to make the right play and he does rather pass. It's not just something he's saying. LeBron would like to make the right play and pass the basketball, but he is so gifted that somebody that has that mindset can still be the number 1 scorer in the whole league history.
So let me ask y'all this, and y'all see it up close. Both of y'all played with him. I'm not going to compare him to any players. Let's just keep him on him right now. What's your favorite version of him?
Oh,
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat?
That version, the Miami Heat version, yes. And I'll give you one.
One more.
No, I'll just give you one example. That game in Boston, when that goddamn bus showed up an hour and a half before the game, and an hour and a half before the game, we get on that bus, and that bus, he ain't speak the whole time. He met because Brian, he's a routine. He's like a robot. Yeah. He has a routine that he goes through A to B. That bus showed up, and we had about an hour and a half before the tip off. Now you know the coach
messed up his whole routine.
This whole routine up. He didn't speak the whole time. We got to that arena, and we rambling, trying to get our socks on. We doing shit. We like, yo, we got to hurry up. Game about to start. We in the playoffs now. We looked over at Brock.
Back against the wall. It's a wrap.
Back against the wall.
We looked over at Bron. Bron, let me take my glass off. Bron looked at us with this face.
Oh, you taking the glass off for this?
Looked at us and he did like this. Don't worry about it.
We'll be just fine.
Don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
Ball, I looked at him. I said, come on. I said, come on, Killer. He looked at me and said, Killer, I'm throwing everything at him. I'm shooting every bullet in the gun. I'm going to take the clip out, throw it at him, and I'm going to throw the gun at him, too.
Listen.
Damn, we're going to be I said, damn, we're going to be fine tonight.
That came out with a Gatling gun. Listen. It was, I don't give a we were great teammates. He had help. But I don't give a if you put Larry, Curly, and Mo out there with him that night. That was coming home with that dub. He was coming home with that dub, boy.
Go back and watch this game, man.
Boy, go watch it.
Most amazing game I've
watch
ever watched.
it. That we showed up an hour and a half before the tip-off.
And understand something, Mo, real quick. Like, we just get beat because you got to have the whole context of it. We get beat the year before to Dallas, which we got walked down. We should have beat them in the finals.
Yeah.
Right? You go into the next season, Chris Bosh gets hurt.
Yes.
So we're in game 6. I believe it was without Bosh. I think he came back game 7. I got to remember.
Chris Bosh got hurt, but you want to win, put your D in. We got that. We figured that. We figured that part out.
I got to paint the whole picture here. You know what I mean? Like so we go into this. If we're down 3-2.
Yes.
Going into Boston.
3-2 going into Boston. 3-2 going into Boston, bro.
Yeah,
yes.
Going into Boston.
Yes.
That's what their intentions are. Obviously, he comes in here, and I'm telling you, it's the best game I've ever watched with my own 2 eyes. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's literally like 40, 16, 9 on like 5 misses.
Man.
I think he went like 12 straight shots didn't miss.
Oh my gosh,
the
crowd! Listen, every time he made a shot, the crowd like they had stomach cramps. Like, I mean, this got, bro. It was like until the point where just nobody wasn't saying no more. Like everybody was just quiet. Like that was crazy. That was crazy.
I'm so amazed with him, anyways, though, because we talk about what version of him was the best. Obviously, that Miami one, because his athleticism was so elite and he was so fast and strong, and I saw it every day in practice. He talked about it like there was levels to it, man. He brought that every single day. Like that's the thing that people understand. Like he came into practice with the same mentality.
Yes,
like, he was trying to kill people.
You know you was greatness.
Yes, and then I go to him with Cleveland. I a year ago back to Memphis, and then I go with him to Cleveland after the following year. His athleticism actually came down just a little bit, but then he started shooting the ball better, and he started freaking figuring out his spots better. I was like,
so he became a better player.
Stop. And then and when I first saw him, I'm like, golly, man, he's because that was the year coming from that, he was jumping over dudes, dunking on cat, like it was like that. And then he started getting it back again. I'm like, this dude's not human, man. Like he's not human, bro.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see.
Crazy.
Like someone asked me in Cleveland when I left there, how many years you think he got left at this level? And I was like, bro, like, I mean, he's so good. Like I can see probably another 2, 3, and he's still doing it.
He's still doing it.
And
still can do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be his mental challenge. Like, all right, am I just bored, or do I have it in me to take the cold baths and do it every day? It ain't gonna be something where I'm like, I can't play no more. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Maul came out and said you do this at this level for another 4 or 5 years.
And he ain't lying,
then he started
dog.
talking about, I said 5 to 7.
He ain't lying, bro. The question for him is gonna be, honestly, because he's been to the mountaintop and he's won championships. Is it worth it if I really don't have a championship roster around me?
Right.
And I think that would be the question that he has to ask himself every year. You know, no fault of JJ, that's just not a championship roster. That's just reality.
No, it's not.
That's just reality. That has nothing to do with JJ. That is not a championship roster. So the question that Bron is going to have to ask himself is, if they don't put a championship roster around him and AD, does he still want to do it? Because what else he doing it for? Like he's got the records. Like now I'm playing for championships because I know what that feels like. That's the only thing that going home in the finals losing don't make me feel good. Like I want.
Or it's now the win. I'm just gonna play with Bronny and make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole different level of winning, right? So it could be that.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so you win that championship and then go to Memphis. And you're part of what I think is obviously the best team in Memphis history. Is a grit and grind team. And by the way, UD, just like you, got his jersey retired.
For sure. Yes, sir. Big step.
Congratulations, my brother.
Congratulations, my brother. Because guys like us, these jobs require a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I tell people all the time, dog, you got a nice little shiny Bentley, but if ain't nobody changing the oil and the spark plugs,
exactly.
That bitch ain't going nowhere. We're going to see your ass on 95 sitting on the side, and we're going to ride by in the Chevy. We're going to keep going. One thing I will say to this for you is you got to give yourself credit for this is because what I know about leadership is real leaders bring people together and it has to be authentic. Even though you took what you took from those guys, you did it your way. You took your little piece from Ray, you took your little piece from Paul, you took your piece from Ticket. But when it came out and you was implementing that in the guys in Memphis, you did it your way. You couldn't do it like Ticket because they'll see through that.
Exactly.
You couldn't do it like Ray because that ain't you.
Right.
You couldn't do it like Paul.
No.
That ain't authentic. One thing about true leadership is you got to be authentic, dog. If I try to lead like somebody else, they won't follow me. Right. And that's what you got to give yourself credit because you figured out how to do it your way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, leaving Boston, I didn't want to leave Boston.
Yeah.
Like, it was a situation where Chris Wallace, he drafted me. He was in Boston.
Yeah.
He was in Boston when they picked me the number 25 pick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I got there, it was like I thought I was actually going to Chicago. I thought I was going to Chicago. They ended up picking up Ronnie Brewer?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the Arkansas?
Yep.
They picked him up. Gave him
Ronnie
3 years,
Brewer.
15.
That was
So
my draft.
I done went back home, got me a nice little condo at the crib. I'm thinking I'm going back home. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Man, they called me and told me like, nah, we gonna go another direction. And so just after blue, like at the end, I want to say that it was like then at almost the end of the free agency. And Chris Wallace reached out and he told me, he's like, man, I like what you just did in the 2010 finals on Kobe. I like how you competed. I've been watching you all playoffs. He was like, we missing that in this organization. We need you to be here and be a glue guy. He flat out told. I just want you to do everything you was just doing in the playoff. He's like, I don't want you to do nothing else. Focus on that. Can you come do that? And when I tell you Chris Wallace, shout out Chris Wallace.
That's dope.
Man, he was on my ass the whole time I was there. I thought I had a college coach in my ear, man. He a general manager. Now, you don't have this in the league, man.
No, you don't.
Can you calling me for, bro? He was on my bumper. I'm talking about some on my bumper. And I'm talking about, hey, T.A., you know we got a big game tomorrow now. Hey, how's it going now, T.A.? Yeah. He's like, Chris, what's up, man? No, just making sure you're getting your rest and you're doing everything.
You lead, they'll follow.
I'll be like, what? I'm like, Coach, I'm in here, got Norma Tech on my legs.
He said he on my
I'm
bumper.
in here watching film. What are you talking about, Chris?
He on my bumpers
How
now.
important your leadership is.
And I honored that, bro, and I can't front. So I always give him kudos, man, for just even taking that chance because that was it. That was my only offer. If not, I wasn't gonna be in the league.
It changed that team too, man. I'll be honest. That team, the way they put that team together and the way they did that from the outside, you're like, whoa, they did the Zebo and you, and you're like, what I mean? Like, and they came together and it just, you guys took on that, and it's what they call it grit and grind. That was all your.
I mean, we knew when you walked in that.
Oh God.
You knew you was in for a battle.
Yes, you were.
You was in for a battle.
Get your rest.
Hell yeah, you knew you was in for a battle.
We wanted to change the narrative, man, because I ain't gonna lie. When I played in Boston and we used to look at the schedule, we see Memphis, we'd be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna be in Memphis real quick, go in there, get that win, then we gotta shoot out here to LA. Like it never was like, like, you get what I'm saying? So, and I always had that in my head too. I'm like, yo, we gonna change that narrative. And before I got that, one thing Chris Wallace asked me was, are you gonna be able to play with Zebo?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why you think I'm like, I don't know, just off the court stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you guys just different something. I'm like, no, that's my man.
Two of the most dopest teammates ever. Too.
I'm like, yo, no, that's my man. And so when I got there and saw Bo like, man, we missed the game. We missed the playoffs last year, about 10 games, bro. I'm telling you, bro, we're gonna be doing it this year. We've been working out all summer. Bro, we good. And I'm looking at bro, I'm like, you been working out all summer? He said, yeah, I've been in it.
Capping in it.
I'm like, I ain't been working out all summer. But he was a little fit, so I don't know. He probably, that first week,
I love it.
curls.
I love it.
But man, he from off the rip, man, we hit it, man. And I had been knowing about him, been playing against him or whatever. But just to get there and see, how big-hearted he was, man, and how open he was to just sharing game, just, putting me down on a few things, showing me the city pretty much, because he was there years before he got family there. He had been coming to Memphis.
The blend, though, of the personalities, because then you got the nicest human being in the world, in Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Right? And then you got freaking the skill of Marc Gasol and what he does.
Yes.
Like
I love it.
That's what I'm saying. It was like a jambalaya, man. And it just turned out to be perfect.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
And I promise you, Mike, I love Mike. I always say he's one of my best teammates.
Guy's still doing it.
Because he's still doing all that. And that's the way he keep guys together. Like we like you said, different personality. Yeah. When Mark ain't getting the ball, he's speaking in Spanish. Cha, amigo. Like, you know, like he upset that Zebo. He wanted, hey, LeBron, give me the ball, LeBron. And I done probably turned it over, clanked one, and did something silly. And he will always be the guy to be like, hey, fellas, we and if you weren't taking it well, he'll pull you to the side. You feel what I'm saying? He keeps things like just together, and I love the fact that his work is still being done in this.
Still doing.
I always felt like Mike Conley was one of them dudes in the league. Like if you got a problem with Mike Conley, something wrong with you.
It got to be.
Like if you come up to me and just say something bad about Mike Conley, I ain't with you.
You ain't lying.
I know that man. That's how good of a dude he
is.
Great
lying.
Locker room
you know what
guy,
I'm saying?
man.
He one of them type of dudes.
And he did his thing, man, because, I mean, sometimes it be situations where you got to get the ball to Bo or Mark. They both cooking.
Yeah.
How you even manage that?
Let me ask you something, because you brought it up with Chris. When Chris brought you in, he said, I like what you did on Kobe in the 2010 finals, right? Mm-hmm. God rest his soul, one of the best, if not the best, Kobe Bean Bryant. Mm-hmm. Give us, because he's made it well known and documented that you're the best defender he's ever seen.
Yes.
Give us a Kobe memory.
Man, Kobe memory. Oh, man. I give you one, man. It be times, right, they running the triangle offense.
Yeah.
Right? So they run the triangle offense. Now, they done ran this offense all through the years before we even got in the league. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we done played against it. We scouted it, studied it. I know when you flash to this elbow and Paul is up top, I know the back door is coming with the big. You might give a handoff to Lamar Odom. Yeah. And then after that, you going straight to your ISO.
Yeah.
So why not I just deny this? How about this be my best defense right here, right?
Yes.
So one time, Paul was up top, and a few possessions, I either got a deflection, denied it, they had to swing it back the other way and go put the triangle.
I know, he's hot. He had to swing it back.
So he mad. He's like he mad. Kobe mad. And so all of a sudden, they coming back down. I think they about to go back into that action. He just starts speaking in Spanish to Paul. I'm like, why is you speaking in Spanish? I say, no, the back door coming. The back door coming. Why is he speaking in Spanish, bro? Y'all in the same formation. Bro, if you don't knock it off. And so I end up, noticing that he's, bilingual. He speaks 10 languages. And so once I noticed that after I was playing, though, and I was like, yo. And so who just stamped it was, we had did an interview with Vujicic.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, when y'all want to do audibles to y'all plays, y'all start speaking in Spanish. He's like, you better know it. I said, man, damn it, I knew it. And it was funny because I was like, why do he always do that? And me and Kobe, man, we never talked, bro. We never had one conversation on the court. I ain't never said. Only thing he ever said to me was the last time he played, he grabbed me, hugged me. He was like, bro, I enjoyed all the battles, bro.
Damn, that's dope.
You the toughest. You the toughest. He told me in my ear. And I'm like, damn. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, this man actually said something to me. I'm talking about my whole 14 years of playing basketball. That was the only conversation I had with him.
Made up for it though.
Yeah, no, it did. That's the ultimate love. It's ultimate love.
And on the flip side of it though, that's what made Kobe a gangster though. That's old school.
Yeah.
Kobe wasn't making no friends out there.
Ain't no fraternizing.
No, ain't no fraternizing.
I love that.
No doubt. Me too.
About old Applehead ass D-Wade.
Applehead
D-Wade. Applehead ass D-Wade.
Man, old D-Wade, man.
He said
D-Wade from the crib.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Really
That's what
from
I'm
the
saying.
crib, man. That's
have
the
y'all
goat.
been, before the NBA, had y'all cross paths competing against each other anytime in Chicago?
One time. See, because he from the hood. He from the hood. But he moved to the suburbs. So when he went out there, he started. I'm talking about killing. He talking about killing. My cousin went to school with him.
Okay.
And so my cousin used to be always telling me like, bro, this dude D-Wade killer. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah. He like 6'5". He dunking. I'm like, yeah. And so mind you, this the time where I'm restoring my hoop game back together. Now I'm okay. So this was going on. So we end up playing at the end of the year. We end up having a city suburban game, city versus suburban game where all the all-stars out of their town come play the city.
Hey, that's a funny by the way. City versus suburban games, nuts.
No, that was the name of it. That was the name of it. And they had D-Wade on there.
Bourbon team.
So white guys in D Wade versus white guys in D Wade versus.
That's why he got nice. His confidence
versus the hood coach. That what we on?
No, D Wade used to kill though. It wasn't no.
I know he was killing.
But when we crossed paths,
inspired by rap music.
Yeah. Y'all wow. But no, man. Shout out D Wade. He
dog.
He got down. He won MVP of that game, and they won the game.
Got busy.
I think he had like 29. I had like 21. Yeah, we went at it one time.
D Wade was a dog.
But I know in the NBA, he always talks about obviously how tough of a cover.
Yeah.
When he played against you, but you know, when y'all talk, because you talk a lot of shit, what you be saying? What you be saying?
You know, you really want to know?
Yeah, I want to know because I don't be over there.
Hey, he be mumble rapping until he tell first team.
So somebody from home. I can't stop.
Especially somebody from Chicago. What you be saying?
If
as soon as you wake up in the morning, I'm locking your ass up on the doorstep. Like, what you saying?
I promise you, I'm on that type time for sure. But let's just say I'm contesting this shot. You miss. I might just say, no, you all right, it's just my presence. You feel me? You all right, it's just my presence. You feel me? Like I might say something real slick, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't barking. One thing I ain't doing is barking. Or I might speak in third person. I might just say, you know, might get a block shot or something, or, you know, I might say, get that shit out of here. You know, that's normal. But for sure, if I hit you with that, or what's another one? Good DTA.
Yeah. You said that to yourself.
He said that all the time. He said that in practice.
I'm speaking in third person.
Yeah.
So, it
by the way, that's worse. That's worse than someone barking loud at you. Like, hey, it's all right, dog. That's just my presence.
You got to get into them mentally,
man.
For
sure.
Come on, man.
I ain't talk much. I had the mouthpiece in, but I tell you, if you make a good shot, I said you got to make that for 4 quarters.
For 4 quarters.
And then when the fourth quarter, when that goes short or left, I'll be like, see?
That's a long thought process too for that time.
You gotta make that shit for 4 quarters, boy.
But no, D Wade was tough though, bro. I can't in front. Like I ain't gonna lie. One thing about him, man, he was one of them guards, man. He attacked the offensive glass.
Gonna say, what made him different?
He attacked, like I say, he attacked the offensive glass, and I'm talking about, and when you put him in that pick and roll and he get downhill, man, it's no stopping him.
None.
And we already know what he do in the open court when he got the ball. He's just as dangerous. But I liked him because he always was active. Being from the crib and, you know what I'm saying, coming to get that ring, making this Wade County, you know what I'm saying, bringing that Chicago presence down here, man. He made me believe I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because he one of them, and he always been, you know, a competitor ever since I know him.
You go to, it's not Brooklyn, it's New Jersey.
New Jersey,
right?
Bro. Draft night. Did you know you're going 1 when you walked in the building?
It wasn't 100%. I didn't hear that it was 100%. It ain't like now where everybody know. It was, people were debating if they was going to take D Miles.
All because of injury.
Yeah, that's it. He's a young phenom, and
he's a D Miles,
but I told like more power to him if y'all want to take him. I was trying to go where you went.
Orlando.
You want to go to Orlando?
What?
Really?
Especially that next year. Hell yeah.
Wow, with T-Mac? What?
Yes.
Okay. But you had a pretty good goddamn team though now.
No, that was the next year.
Yeah.
Not my rookie year.
Right, the next year, that's when y'all got Kittles
we won
and
26 games.
Rookie year, they're at.
We won 26 games my rookie year.
Next year, y'all got Jace Kidd and Kittles and all that.
Kerry got healthy. I was going into my second year. They traded for J Kidd. They drafted RJ.
Yeah.
Keith Van Horn was still.
Yes, I remember.
Van Horn was good as shit.
Van Horn was nice. Keith Van Horn was nice.
They was trying to make room for RJ.
And the crazy thing about Keith Van Horn is he'd have been perfect next to you too.
Yeah, man. It worked out because he would guard the 4s because he was too slow, and I would guard the 3s. So he was a space guy. I'm saying so. It worked. But I think they was trying to make room for RJ because RJ played well his rookie year. And they were trying to make room for him, so they moved Keith.
If I'm not mistaken, one of those years, y'all was one of the top teams in the East.
They went to the finals twice.
Yeah,
2 years in a row, bro.
Yeah, went to the finals twice.
Oh, the first year, the year J Kidd got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we doubled our win total.
Talk about that going to the finals.
Yeah, how was that?
Unexpected.
The Lakers and the Spurs, right?
Unexpected. The first year is especially unexpected, man. We didn't make the playoffs the year before, and you don't go from
that shit don't happen. Not making the playoffs.
Right,
to the finals.
not making the playoffs to the finals.
It don't happen.
That
don't happen.
I'm in my second year, 23 years old. Like,
how the fuck I got here?
I get here. right? Just playing basketball, don't know nothing else, just hooping. NBA still fairly it's fresh.
It's fresh for sure.
I'm older because I got 4 years of college experience, all that. But still, the NBA don't matter. We beat so we get past Indiana in the first round. We battled. This one, the first round was still 5 games, right?
Isn't that crazy?
So we battled Indiana. We think we got him. Reggie hit a fucking shot at the buzzer, which we all think was late. Tied up. We going to double overtime, and we beat Indiana in the first round. Man, it was like, okay, go to the second round. It's like 4-2 the second round. Like, okay, we get to East Conference Final. Like, beat a good Boston team. It's like, all right. Up next. Who's that? Oh, Lord. Shaq.
The diesel truck coming.
Shaq. Right? That man, listen, dog. I be trying to explain to people, man. And if you didn't experience playing against 2000, 2001, 2002 Shaquille O'Neal.
My goodness.
Kim, I'm so glad you're touching on this because I was so sick at the end of my career or end of Shaq's career when I was still playing, and people were like, I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all seen that motherfucker 8 years ago?
They don't understand. But honestly, like in a different way, you had the same healthy feel where motherfuckers had to play against you.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. Like these motherfuckers will dominate you, like and embarrass you and dunk on your ass and push you down and knock you down. Like everybody couldn't get in the ring with these boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? And listen, there wasn't too many people that got me worked up. But when I was like, man, I got to bring my
we gonna battle or we gonna get it.
Yeah, if I don't, he coming with it. Yeah, I can't be out drinking and all that bull because I gotta be.
And the thing is, I probably was. Right? The crazy shit is, my ass was probably out the night before. Like, I know what this finna be.
Listen, I remember one game I was playing so goddamn hard, I scratched the shit at you. Remember I scratched the shit at you? You remember that shit?
Long ass.
I scratched the shit at him.
I'm like, hey, young fella, you gotta cut your goddamn.
That's what he told me. He said, hey, young fella, you gotta cut your nails. I say, my bad.
Hey,
I cut them right after the game.
He told me, I went next time I saw him, say, hey, man, I like.
Man, I worked so goddamn hard that night, killer. Because like him, like Zebo. First of all, I'm trying not to even let you catch it. Because if I let you catch it, then I'm at your mercy. I know how good you are. Yeah. My defense started when you cross half court.
Absolutely, bro. I said it yesterday on the podcast. We were talking about it yesterday. I said it on the show. Listen, it starts, man. But I knew it. So the thing is, when you play a certain way and certain guys play a certain way, we never get into it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
It's expected.
We never get into it. We always get into it with the people who want to play that. We know this is not how you play, dog.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Right? Cut the man. Like, we're not finna do this tonight with you, dog. Like, cause you know what? If I turn it up, then it's gonna stop.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Me, you, Zebo, Sergey, we always kept it here. We gonna battle, and it's gonna be that love, that respect always. We ain't gonna, cause it's mutual respect, man. On the respect, and each possession means something.
Yes.
Right? If more people and more, the product would be a lot better. These kids are very skilled, good, all that. But if they played the game like we know each possession, man, that shit means something.
Man,
right?
I ain't gonna lie. But I remember, I think you was there. Was you that year when Riley came in and Shaq was there. We in the locker room. We waiting for Riles to come in. We getting ready for a game. I think I think it was the finals when we played against Dallas. And we lost the first 2 games on the road. We come back home and we got 3 games straight before we leave. This motherfucker come in the locker room with a bucket of water. Motherfucker stick his bucket of ice water. Stick his head in the ice water. We looking around like, what the fuck is he doing? Now 30 seconds go by. Now we at like 40 seconds. He took his head out of that ice water, face red as from, you gotta want this game like you want your last breath.
Oh. Damn, Pat.
Yo, like on that kind of shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, like every possession was like the last possession. I know that was a little extreme, but to his point,
I ain't wrapped too tight.
I ain't wrapped too tight.
I would have been like, damn, Pat, go back in. Let me see how bad you really want it.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
In that motherfucker about 40 seconds now. He went as long as he can.
Bad motherfucker. Give me another 20. Listen.
Face was red. Hell, he was like, you gotta want this
win like you want your last breath.
Bruh.
Now, we thought that motherfucker was crazy, but we understood the message.
Yo.
We understood the message, dog.
So the year after the lockout, I was supposed to come down and y'all.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing rumblings about that.
I came on the visit. I was on the road. I came down there and visited and all that.
Unbelievable.
I remember that.
I had been, man, my body had been through so much. He talking about all that motherfucking conditioning and all that shit I was doing. I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna make that. Cause I wasn't gonna be. See, I'm not.
I remember that.
I'm not gonna let you put me in that situation, right? I know me, and I didn't want to bump head. Like y'all got a great organization. Y'all got a great group of guys here, man. I'm not gonna. If I don't feel, if my body ain't gonna let me do it today, I'm not gonna let you force me to do it, and I'm gonna tell you that, right? So I'm like, yeah, them dudes. Y'all went out and won. I went to the Clippers. I was like, yeah, them boys good. They play hard, but I can't do that part.
I remember that.
I ain't gonna even lie.
Coming, I was looking forward to.
Yeah, no. It wasn't certain. I just like, man, I need to be on the floor to be productive, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I just need to listen around 25 minutes a night. He was like, I don't know if we can promise you that. We got to go. I'm like, I respect it, man. Like, for me to be effective, to be here, I can't do it sitting on the bench.
You would have been a Heat guy for sure.
Oh yeah, no,
you would have fit right in.
So I tell my son this all the time, dog.
Yeah.
Like you built like that.